evening, my fabulous 236. I'm just gonna take a moment to give a shout out to my newest subscriber. And second of all, I recently found out that literally all of my favorite dairy-free ice cream brands have switched to oat milk, which unfortunately is one of my least favorite dairy-free milks, and I have a bit of a dairy sensitivity, so that's a bummer. But on the flip side, before I started college, I used to make, and I'm no longer in college, but anyway, before I decided to try college, I was making ice cream in a blender all the time because we didn't buy any at that point in time when I was living at my dad's. So I happened to have an ice cream in a blender recipe, and I thought it would be really cool to show it on camera and make it with almond milk. Now, yeah, so I found out Ben & Jerry's switched their dairy-free flavors to oat milk, and yeah, it's while I was scrolling on TikTok, and the comments were just a bunch of people saying they couldn't have oats or whatever. Just like so yeah, I thought it'd be really cool to show this, and maybe this is a recipe some of you guys need as well. But I think I'm just gonna make a basic vanilla, and if this is a recipe you want to try at home, go for it. But yeah, I haven't made this in a really long time, probably in at least like 5 years. But from what I remember, everything's easily substitutable, though I would not recommend using hot chocolate as a base. So, anyway, I'm gonna go refresh my memory on this recipe, and then I'm gonna make it in the kitchen for you guys. Okay, so ended up looking more like sorbet, but yeah, I think I can fix that just by adding a little bit more ice. It's really melty on top. It shouldn't be looking like that, and I'm not even sure if I recorded this already, but I think it was in S&Q format. But anyway, I'm gonna add more ice. I ended up making a strawberry flavor, and it's already kind of melty, more melty than I would like, and we want more of a smooth, slushy type consistency. So I'm gonna add more ice so we can hopefully get to that, and then I'm gonna pour it into some freezer safe containers, and I will be back in about 30 minutes. Okay, so we ended up with something that looked a lot more like sorbet, but I can confirm it is still really good. It's just not quite ice cream. So, I'm not sure. All I did was swap out the milk. I've had pretty good experience with swapping out stuff in this recipe prior, It's just, I think I put too much of something or too little of something, I think is what happened. But it still tastes great, and I'm not gonna mark it down as a failure because it's still pretty decent. I'm gonna set a timer for 30 minutes. But before I do that, I'm gonna let you know how much of each ingredient I started with. I did add a little bit more almond milk and ice because with almond milk in particular, when making milkshakes and any other drink in a blender that you would make with milk, with almond milk, oftentimes it's a bit thinner with the almond milk, so if you want it thicker, you have to add a little bit more ice than what you would normally add. So this recipe, the original recipe, is 1/4 cup of milk, or half and half, 2 cups of crushed ice, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. So I added a little bit more ice, like I said, and I also added a little bit more almond milk and sugar. Yeah, I added a little bit more of basically like all the ingredients, and I got to the almost like a cross between a snow cone and sherbet consistency. So this is probably going to be a lot of trial and error, and I definitely will be trying this again. So anyway, I'm going to go set that timer, and I'll be back later. Okay, I'm back, and I got a shower, and I ended up putting this back in the freezer for about another half hour. But what I didn't expect was that the color would lighten when it went into the freezer, but it still tastes just as great. It is a strawberry vanilla sorbet, and I really like it. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. And my battery's about to die, so I'm gonna go. Good evening, my fabulous 237. So, I know, yeah, the majority of this video was literally just me trying to make dairy-free ice cream. But anyway, before I sign off, I wanted to show you this. I know this probably doesn't really look like anything, but I finally learned how to make rounds in crochet, and I'm proud of myself. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna end up making this some sort of like snake plushie or something. I was gonna try to make like a chameleon because I knitted something and I stitched it together and it kind of looks like the head of a chameleon, and then I went to make the body and, well, it's quite skinny, so I think I might just turn this into a snake because it looks a lot more snake-like than, well, lizard. Anyway, that is it for this vlog. I hope you liked it. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you want, you can check out my links in the description or by scanning the QR code at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and above all else, stay fabulous. Bye!
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need